Good morning, good afternoon. This is EMS Automotive, manufacturer of parts for 57 to 58 Fords. We also make a lot of other things, 35 to 58 in Fords and Chevys. But today we're going to talk about 57, 58 Fords. These cars are popular. These are the 50s cars. If you want the 50s look, it's the 57 Ford. EMS Automotive. We make all of our own products in our own factories. We make headlight panels, lower fenders, rocker panels, quarter panels, floor pans, floor braces, all kinds of things. We're going to start with the quarter panels. Quarter panels are on the rear part of the car. Your rear wheel is over here. This is the area, this is the lower rear behind the rear wheel. This is the lower front in front of the rear wheel. There's two different styles. You guys know about the 57 Fords. There's the custom in the 300 series, which is the short wheelbase. And there's the Fairlane 500, Fairlane 500, retractables, convertibles. Those are on the longer wheelbase. And we'll be talking about, we're going to start with the 300 series, 300 custom, which is your short wheelbase, often used by the stock car guys, drag cars, because they were smaller, lighter, and still had the big engine. Okay, this is your lower rear quarter panel behind the tire. Made by EMS, made in the United States, 18 gauge steel. That's as heavy as they made it back then. Not any cheap black Taiwanese, China tissue paper steel that it just falls apart on you. All formed, rolls underneath correctly, rolls to the back tailpan correctly, has your wheel lip die stamped and formed with your curve. Notice no rust on the panel. Our panels ship rust free. Don't let any of these other guys say, oh, I got a deal and it looks like the panel's been sitting in the street for 20 years. You got your body line formed in there, crisp, the way it's supposed to be. We got an offset panel over here so you can slide it up if you need that help. Some guys like to butt weld it. We got the same thing here. I know you guys like fender skirts, so you get that real fine adjustment in there. 18 gauge steel. Okay, now one of the things about this, if you look underneath the car, and I'm going to put it together, there's an inner panel. Some guys like to call it inner quarter. Some people call it a trunk drop off. And it sits in here. And that's what you see when you roll underneath, when you go underneath the car. There again, die stamped in the USA in our own factories with our own tooling made in this country, not imported. We make it. So when you call us, you're talking it right to the manufacturer. If you got any technical questions, we're right here to help. This goes in. Like I said, a lot of guys like to call it a trunk drop-off panel, but that's what makes your trunk drop-off piece in there. And if the outer is going to rust out, this panel is going to rust out too. We got them both for you. Ship in the same box. When you order them, it ships in the same box. We ship UPS, so it's cheap and easy. If it gets damaged, it's our problem, not yours. So we're going to jump to the front. In front of the rear wheel, we got the lower front quarter panel. Here again, this is 300 series, a little bit shorter than the 500. So if you're not sure of the length, we got them both. We'll help you out. Our customer service people know the differences in the cars. We got the door jamb stamped into it. Nice crisp detail. Here again, we go up to the original rocker seam. Don't let anybody tell you it's over here that they got a long rocker or this. You got to watch out for the cheap slip over the top of the rust. Push it out on a used car lot, old patch panels from the old days. That's not going to fix up your expensive ride. Some of these cars are very, very expensive when they're done correctly. Here again, we got the flange on the, look at that detail. All formed correctly. Heavy 18 gauge steel. Fades out correctly. Got your body line at the bottom of the quarter. Rolls underneath like it's supposed to. You got plenty of metal. Even little detail like this, we can do it. Not a problem. This is for the custom 300 series. We have the same thing. This is the longer 500. Fits your Fairlane 500, your convertibles. It has it, since it's a little bit longer in the back, it's about 2 inches longer than the 300. Same with the front, a little bit longer. It also has its own unique trunk drop, inner quarter panel, trunk drop-off panel. All fits together nicely, all 18 gauge. Let the camera guy take a look at that. So we have it. So here again, the same thing. That's the 500 series. Same thing applies to the 500 up front. It's just a little bit longer because he had a little bit more back seat room in those Fairlane 500s and convertibles. So the quarter panel is just a little bit longer here. Wheel opening is the same. So we have that 18 gauge steel made in our factories. So if you call us, you got people that actually made the parts, you need a catalog, just give us a call at 216-541-4585 to send you out a free catalog. Even though it's got a picture of a Chevy on it, we got lots of 57 Ford parts. Hey, we're talking about 57, 58 Fords today, parts made by EMS Automotive. Yes, some of the baby Mercuries and baby Etzels will use these parts also. You call our customer service, we know how to find out what fits your car. Right now, we're going to talk about the rocker panel for the 57 Ford. Goes from doorpost to doorpost. This is made out of heavy 18 gauge steel by EMS in its own factories. Notice the detail. This is not a cheap slip over, push it on the used car lot, 2 for $19.95. This is a quality replacement. Goes from the front, goes to the original factory seam, has the offset, has a little spot weld edge underneath, has the indent, not just rolled under, we formed it like it's supposed to be. Okay, we got your we got your top rocker sill in here. You're going to put the nice bright door step plate in there. Die stamped, formed in a channel like it's supposed to be. This goes behind the fender, all formed up real nice. Made by EMS Automotive. Heavy 18 gauge, replaces it exactly. Does not slip over the top. So watch out for that. All of our parts from EMS Automotive will come with a EMS logo label on it with our phone number telling you what the part is. If it doesn't have the EMS sticker on it, it's an imitation copy of low quality stuff. So you look for that. Any questions, you call us at 216-541-4585. Our phone number, or check us online, EMS Automotive. You can see pictures. We got a photo, lots of photos of customers' cars with installed pieces. You can buy online. You can buy direct from us. Give us a call. Send us an email. We'll help you out. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram. Over there, it shows pictures, give you links back to our website where you can buy online or call us direct. Okay, we just talked about the rocker panel. Obviously, the water goes back and forth as you start and stop. One of the most misunderstood parts is the lower door. We call it the lower door post, and it has the hinge pocket for the door post. This is at the front of the rocker panel and at the front of the car. It goes over here like this. Okay, so generally, if the bottom of your rocker is this lower nose over here, which is basically hidden by the fender comes down over here, the door is over here. This is what you see, your hinge is over here. This is behind the outer sheet metal lower cowl and the fender. This is an extension of the rocker panel, as you can see. So it's probably rusted out. If your rocker's rusted, you know this is rusted. We have it. It's a very nice piece, well formed. Heavy 18 gauge, just like it's supposed to be. It's got to hold that door. Very strong. It'll ship in the same box as the rocker. Okay, one of the other most rusty pieces on a 57 Ford is around the headlights. And we make the headlight panel. Your headlight goes in there with the headlight bucket. This is your front end. You know your hood is going to be over here. This is going to be where your hood and your hinge for the front hood. Okay, as you notice, this is well formed. The dirt sticks in the back. The bottom rusts out or rusts out on top. This is what we call the headlight panel. Okay, then the other piece is the fender cap. Goes together like this. Okay, And here again, we formed this 57 Ford has a fender top bead. This goes into the area by the front hood. Here again, 18 gauge steel, die formed in the USA. We rolled this flange over here too for you. We got this flange out here. Welds together, nice and formed up real nice. That's for the 57 only. For the 58, we make those too. Now 58 had dual headlights, 57 had the single. This is your fender cap. 58's had an indent instead of a positive. There again, we make it there by the hood. You got your, if you want to call it door jamb for the hood, we make it. Flange out for the fender. Die stamped 18 gauge steel, heavy 18 gauge steel. Here again, not a slip over the top, fix up a used car and get rid of it right away before you find out. So it'll have our sticker on it. Now, since the 58 has dual headlights, it has a very complicated headlight panel. It has actually a two-piece. This is the upper part, and it goes in here. Okay, and you're going to have your two headlights. Then you're going to have your lower. I'm going to take it apart since I don't have enough hands. This is your lower. It goes like that. That's where your dual headlights go for the 58 Ford. Here again, 18 gauge steel, highly formed. Holes are cut out for you. This is the lower end. As you can see, the dirt used to get caught in there. We make it out of heavy steel here in the United States. Got the flange underneath, all formed up, nice smooth curves. For your 58, we call this the lower headlight panel. We call this the upper headlight panel. So you can just buy what you need. That's all you need. Very well made. Like I said, it's for the 58s. Works out very well. We're talking about 57, 58 Fords today. We've covered a lot of sheet metal. We've got a lot more to do. Well, we've been talking about 300s and 500s. The 57, 58 Fords are so popular that there's a lot of interest in station wagons, sedan deliveries, convertibles, and those infamous Ranchero pickups that we have. Now, we have parts for all of those, and many of these parts fit the Rancheros and the wagons and the sedan deliveries and the Skyliners. You call us at EMS Automotive at our customer service. We have the information on what parts fit your car. So a lot of the floor pans are the same. A lot of the things are the same. We got to mix and match them a little bit, but we'll get the parts that you need. So you give us a call at 216-541-4585. Now we're going to look at some other wonderful parts here. We're going to look at the tail panel. This is the back part of the car. This is where your license plate goes. That's where your fuel is at. You know, you flip down license plate, you fill your gas tank up from there. It goes all the way from one side of the fender all the way to the other side of the car in one big stamping. All finely detailed, all the curves, all the shape, no wrinkles. You don't see any wrinkles from cheap tooling. We make the best tooling in our own shops and press the parts ourselves. It always rusts out along here. We put some of the holes in there for you for your license plate mount. You got the flange on there, so it goes right up to the, quarter panel is going to roll around over there. Your trunk lid's going to close over here, hide a little bit of this. And you're going to have, there's a little cap for your license plate light. This will fit your two-door sedans, four-door sedans, convertibles. Will not fit Skyliner, and of course will not fit the Rancheros or the station wagon. Now, when you go to open up the trunk lid, you go to the inside of the trunk. What we have is trunk floor is pretty solid. For this car, this is our the lower trunk. It's to the far right or far left. The wheel tub is over here for the rear tire. So this is the area directly behind the rear tire that gets the salt and dirt thrown up and rusts out and has these pockets in here. So you got these little water traps here. This is butting up against the tail pan. This is up against your trunk drop-off panel. And your trunk drop-off panel is over here. Something matching up like this. Well, this is for the 300. This is a 500. The 500 is a little bit longer than the 300. And You know, your trunk drop off panel is going to be going up in there like that. So then that'll hook up. This, as we talked before, this trunk drop off panel will catch up with your outer quarter panel. Very rust area. There's a brace here. We got a small brace here for that, and we got the big brace here. We're going to show you the big brace. This is the rear brace at the end of the frame, just underneath the tail pan. It's got your body holes. It's got the holes for the motor mounts. This bolts to your frame. Your trunk floor sits on top. Often rust out with your tail panel or your trunk side pieces. Often rust. This is made out of 16 gauge steel. Heavy duty, finely stamped. Even though it's an underbody part, we make it look real nice for you. So that'll go for. Okay, we're back. EMS Automotive 57, 58 Ford floor pans. We had to change all the parts, took a little break. Well, we got a whole bunch of floor pans and stuff up on the table. Remember, if you're into Facebook and Instagram, we're on both of those. We do all that facing and Instagramming stuff that people love to do. Okay, we're going to talk about 57 Ford floor pans. All made by EMS in its own factory. We made all the own tooling ourselves. We did everything. We're going to start with the most popular piece, the floor pan by the driver's feet. Obviously the most rusted piece on the floor pan. Heavy 18 gauge steel, die stamped. Goes from the rocker panel door opening all the way over here to this side to the transmission hump, which we make that also. You've seen it in a minute. All your grooves, divots, slots, offsets, it's all in there. All heavy gauge 18 gauge steel, made in the USA, ships UPS. So you can put the left and the right in one box and get it to you real inexpensively. For that, leave it on your porch. Okay, we're going to go to the front. Go forward a little bit. This is your toe board. Obviously, your accelerator is over here, brake panel, clutch if you got a manual transmission. Cut this out. This is where the steering column goes through. We left it in there because we know a lot of guys like to change out the steering columns, put in an I did it or somebody else's column in there. We leave it in there. You can cut it out and make sure it fits real nice and quiet, airtight. 18 gauge steel, no wrinkles, ships rust free. If it gets damaged in UPS, we pay for it. Everything is here, all the shapes and curves like it's supposed to be. Steering column, your speedometer cable goes here, your dimmer switch goes there. We have it all formed in it for you so it looks just like the way it is. This is the driver's side, the passenger side. We have this also, obviously no steering column, not as formed much, but we have all the curves as it fits around the firewall and the transmission hump and over here by the doorpost, all cut correctly. Ships rust free, no wrinkles. Nothing, you don't have to grind it off to clean it because it's shipped to you rusty or something like this. A lot of cheap imitation panels out there. You got to watch for that. Look for the EMS quality, and that's indicated by having a label on it. We label all the parts when they ship our factory. We even pack them in boxes made in the United States. So if it doesn't have the EMS name on it, it's not EMS quality. This is your drive shaft cover tunnel. Goes over the automatic. Here again, huge stamping, very deep draw steel, has all the humps and curves and shapes like it's supposed to. It's going to go right in. You know, they don't rust out too much, but a lot of them were chopped up for 4 speeds and drag racing, and you want to change it out because you got this big ugly hole in there that we used to do back in the day, and we had a lot of fun back then too. Okay, now we're going to talk about the various body styles. Remember, in 57 Ford, you had 300 short wheelbase, you had 500s, you had Skyliners, convertibles, station wagons, and rancheros. And when I get done with it, we'll go back over and describe all of those pieces and how it fits each car. This is the rear floor pan. Huge piece, still ships UPS. Die stamped, USA 18 gauge steel, has all the ribs, all the shapes, all the curves, just like factory. It's going to go right in. It's big enough. We include half of the drive shaft tunnel also. So when you put both pieces together, you get a complete drive shaft. You don't have to worry about it. It's all done. No reason to sit there and try and piece something in down at the bottom. We make it for you, make it easy. Just weld it on the outside where it's easy. The rear seat comes over here. You won't even see the weld seam over there on that one. That'll be covered up when it goes over here. And you got your transmission cover and your front floor pans. Okay, the rear floor pans will fit the 300 short wheelbase, 2 and 4-door sedans, the 500 2-door sedans, 4-door sedans, hard tops. This will not fit the convertible or the retractable. Ranchero. This, we call it a rear floor pan. This fits into the Ranchero behind the driver's seat, back into that compartment where they have the spare tire. When they flip down the back of the driver's seat, it goes a little bit in underneath the bed. This will go in there, still rusted on the Rancheros, just as much as the sedans. This will also fit your station wagons, whether you got a 2-door station wagon or a 4-door station wagon. It'll take care of it. Okay, on the front floor pans fit all the body styles. 300s, 500s, convertibles, Skyliners, wagons, Rancheros. Same with the transmission. This fits all 57, 58 Fords. Fits your baby Mercuries, fits your baby Edsels, no problem. There. Now, people ask, what about the braces underneath? Because they also rust out, and we're going to cover those right here. There's 4 different braces, 4 rows of braces, 1, 2, 3, and 4. We count from the front windshield, you count back. So you're not sure which brace to get, just count back from the front windshield, rows 1, 2, 3, and our customer service people will get you the parts you need. So you got your front floor brace, die stamped 16 gauge steel, extra heavy duty, just like it's supposed to be, made in the USA, made by EMS. Has your divots there. That's where your body bolts go through. This is your second row. Here again, all die stamped. Everything is formed there. Even the slightest little offsets that are needed to fit the floor pan. Look at this one. Look at all the forming in this. This can't be fabbed by some body man somewhere who says, oh, I can fab it. Nah. He's going to be there for 3 weeks trying to do this. We die stamp it in our own factories. All the curves, heavy 16 gauge. This is the fourth row. Fits all of the cars. These floor braces will fit all body styles. Yes, they will fit the Skyliners, Rancheros, 2-door wagons, 4-door wagons. All fits here. If you need the body bolts and the body mounts, we have them for you. We don't make rubber pads or bolts, but we get them for you so we can throw them in the box. Like I said, ships UPS. If it gets damaged UPS, EMS pays for it. We'll take care of it. We're not going to push it off on you. Your Chinese importers can't do that. Your guys that make slip over patch panels can't do that. EMS can. Remember, 57 Ford, we make all the parts for your 57 Ford EMS Automotive, emsautomotive.com.